'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party. Moolah Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca, Bel-Air, Best podcast, flush it in the air, Roman Reigns and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wrestling RHAPUp podcast. I'm your host, Mari Forth, and with me, as always, Mr. Matt Scott. Matt, how's it going?
Woo! Happy to be here. Pumped to hear Isaiah's theme song. As always, shout out to 8 Ball Bangers for that one. And it is good. I am feeling the heat of summer, of the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And with us, special guests, because we love to give you a guest when we're doing our SummerSlam preview, Stan C.
Hey, how's it going, Matt and Mari? Really pumped to be your number one stan on the Wrestling RHAPUp once again. You guys should know that while you are feeling the heat in the U.S., right here in the Philippines, it's the peak of the rainy season. So it's always been weird whenever SummerSlam comes along. Growing up, I was like, why is everyone talking about the summer? It is raining cats and dogs over here.
Yes, I like being from Hawaii for years. We know the rainy season, so more power to you. Stay dry over there.
Yes,
we try.
And living in Washington, D.C., as Mario knows, we are very moist. So stay dry. Stay very dry.
Right. The humidity. I am I'm so glad to have you guys here to hopefully just like that y'all can liven me up, bring some energy, bring the smiles, because this SummerSlam card is lacking. But before we get into that, let's just get into some quick news. I mean, it was announced today and I couldn't have been more excited, but they announced that WrestleMania 40 will take place at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, yes. Yes, man. Yes.
I'm doing the Hardy Boys
The Hardy
dance right
Boys.
now. I'm just pumped. I'm pumped that it's not, Philly. It's not a flight away.
Exactly.
It's a nice short little train ride, especially if you book it 2 years in advance. Like, you can get a trip to Philly for like $20 on a good day, but maybe 2 years in advance, like it might be. They might give you money to take it. They might give you money to go up there. I am pumped. As you know, also, some people might have seen me on Survivor Philadelphia 2, Head versus Heart, happening now, going on now. I'm pumped up. You feel the energy. I'm totally awake right now. And Philly's a place. I'm thinking they might give me some front row seats because of my appearance on the live reality games Survivor Philadelphia too. That's my hope.
Well,
YouTube might really blow up. Yeah, manifest.
Yeah. Well, get me one too. Yes, I'm so excited. We don't have to worry about travel or lodging because
that's right.
Historically, my husband is from the Jersey area, South Jersey area. He grew up near Philly and all that. And we've been to Philly for wrestling events. So I'm like, and you gave me 2 years to save up so we can get some like really good tickets. I am so excited. We hit Havon, our special guest that we've had on this season. We were like, Havon, we're going to WrestleMania 40. So it is in the books. I cannot wait. Stan,
Beautiful
we
picture,
asked you, are you going to get flued out? Or are you coming with us?
Yeah,
let's put that energy out there. I'll just say that for now. Let's manifest it. We hope that the universe can make it happen, can conspire, right? But yeah, I've never been to Philly. Or wait, no, I have been to Philly. I just don't remember it because it was like in 2006. So I'd love to visit Philly as an adult. What more for WrestleMania?
Yeah, and then we could show you around.
Absolutely,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So, Rob Sesternino, daddy of the Daddy Network, if I could call you that. Uh, you know, uh, Save up. Some of
Save
those
up. Yep.
top tier ticket packages are about $5,000, $7,500 maybe. We want dinner with a superstar the night before
Yes.
Mania, so you know how
So
it is.
save up. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take that Sasha Banks money and
Mhm.
maneuver it to WrestleMania ticket money because
Yeah, she'll be booked anyway. Like, let's be real.
That's what I was about to say. If the rumors are to be true, she might be there. So
wait a minute. Not the rumors.
Nah, you know the internet. The devil works hard, but the wrestling internet community works harder.
I like that.
They're already
Put it on
saying
a t-shirt.
that Triple H and Stephanie are like trying to negotiate Sasha and Naomi's return. I mean, take that with the largest grain of salt you can ever take, because we'll see. Like we said, we'll keep y'all posted if we hear anything, but so excited about that. I am not playing around. Like, I'm not playing around. I will be at WrestleMania 40. God willing, I will be at WrestleMania 40.
You've both been at WrestleManias though, right?
Yeah, we went. So
which Mania? Yeah. Which
but
ones?
we never been like 34 in New Orleans. Yeah.
Stan,
So
you were
I was there for 35.
Yeah. Ooh, look at you people back to back like that. I've never been at Mania, and ever since I've been a kid, I've said, look, I need to go to WrestleMania one day. I want to be as close as possible. I want to smell the superstars, not in a creepy way, but I want to be that close. Is my point. Oh my gosh, someone's gonna take that out of context. I don't want to know. Let's keep moving before.
No. What I will say, just to keep it away from the smelling and the NSFW of it all, is part of the fun of WrestleMania is the festivities. Like, whatever activities are happening in the vicinity of Mania for the week. Like, I enjoyed going to Access, going to WrestleCon, bumping into random wrestlers on the street, like how I bumped into Edge, I bumped into Hornswoggle on the street, just chatting with people casually, just because everybody's in the same city. That's something that I miss from the last 3 years, and something I'd love to experience in LA or in Philly in the next couple.
I'm just gonna stand on the corners of Philly and walk around Philly, just like look for people basically with a camera. Because at this point, like, look, well, yeah, I won't stalk them.
That sounded like
all horrible. No, like, have the camera. Like a tourist, you have the camera. You go, you see Edge there at lunch. You're like, excuse me, Mr. Edge. It's WrestleMania season. Can I take a picture with you? Like, that's what I want to be like.
And like, let me clarify. Like, we went to WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. We went to the takeover, that first takeover. I think that was the first stand and deliver one, the one where they introduced the North American title. Yeah, we went to a WrestleMania watch party for that. We didn't get tickets to go to WrestleMania technically. That was my infamous Buff Bagwell story. So we've been in the city for WrestleMania, but never bought the tickets because it's dumb. If you can't afford like the good seats that you get a good view, it's no point, But Stan is completely right. We did Access. We saw all of the we didn't go to like any extra wrestling events like GCW or anything, because we went to Takeover. So a lot of that was on the Saturday beforehand at that point, and so a lot of stuff was conflicting. But it is so great, and Access has so many things. They have this thing where you can come down the ramp to your favorite person's interest.
Did you?
No, I did not. I
did. I went all ham.
There are two people that were so good, and I was like, no, I'm good. I can't do it. And there's a commentating. The one I wanted to do was the commentator booth thing, and we were standing in line for it, but it closed.
No,
I know.
I got to do that. I got to do that. So that was my favorite part of it all. Yeah, my calling, right? And then, I actually got to meet Scott Stanford. He was filming a segment over at the Hall of Fame ramp, like where they had all these relics of WrestleMania past. Yep. So he was filming a segment there, and I was like, man, I want to meet Scott Stanford. So I went up to him, I introduced myself, and he was like, say that again, where are you from? And I'm like, I flew all the way from the Philippines to be here. And he told his crew guy, let's get this guy on the WWE network. So they shot a segment with me. which they featured on This Week in WWE. It's on the network, or it's on Peacock. And that was way before I ever signed with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Icon.
And when we were there, they were doing another reason why we didn't really see any outside stuff. They were doing the NXT, was it the breakout tournament? They were having NXT matches at Access.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And you can watch for free.
You can watch, you can watch for free. Like, we were just watching the matches, and that was like, again, that was the height of Redacted Dream and like Aleister Black and
Adam
Johnny
Cole
Gargano and all of that. Yeah, Adam Cole. It was so great. It was like one of my favorite experiences. So like, and we were plotting to go back ever since. The New York Mania had been the closest one after that, but I had my son like right before that, so I couldn't do that. So I like, again, as long as I'm still on this earth, we are going to. That kid's like looking at me so more. I will be at WrestleMania 40. Like,
excuse me, like the whole, the whole "as long as I'm still on this earth" thing speaks close to me, because yesterday I just got to share this story because this is really nuts. I was at a radio station. We were live on the air, and as the mics were on, we were in mid-conversation. A magnitude 7.3 earthquake was happening, and literally the walls and the floor were shaking. The technician and I were looking at each other like, do we run the F out of here right now? And my partner didn't feel a thing. So when she finished her spiel, I had to cut in and say, hey, that's really cool and all, but a magnitude 7 earthquake just hit us right now, and she freaked the F out on air right afterwards. So like,
but she didn't feel it.
No, not at all. But like, I was like, do we need to get out right now?
Some people are just built different, is what I'm hearing. But I mean, look, Mari, one way or the other, we will be at that WrestleMania.
Manifest
over the arena if you have to.
Manifest.
Also, big shout out to someone who I thought of earlier, the Wrestling Wind Down, to Lo for the ultimate fan guide to WrestleMania, which is just cool to shout out if people are wondering what the WrestleMania experience is like. Lo back in March recorded the ultimate fan guide to Mania, which is a great guide to fans who go to WrestleMania. So
exactly,
check it out.
Go check that out. It gives you the full experience of like a WrestleMania weekend. Shout out to Lo and the Wrestling Wind Down. All right, let's get into this lackluster card.
Come on, Mari. First of all, I'm gonna give it
as much crap as possible. I truly will. But if you have any long form questions, please send them to wrestling@RHAPup.com. You can also tweet at us on Twitter using @Wrestling RHAPup on Twitter. Also tag us using hashtag Wrestling RHAPup. And it's almost the beginning of the month, so it is like the perfect time to join the Patreon. The Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/RHAP to become a RHAP patron and get access to all the special perks of being a patron. Hopefully you are already subscribed to us. If not, go to robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed to rate, review, and subscribe. Please, thank you. Hopefully you're also looking at our beautiful faces here on YouTube by going to the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube page and searching Wrestling RHAPup. We will take a quick ad break and then come right back. Okay, y'all, let's get into the highlight of the week.
First of all, let me just say, for those, look, the card is what it is, but I've just been dancing left and right. I've been dancing on this podcast, having a good time because Vince McMahon got the F out. And we're so happy about it. So I'm thrilled. I'm looking forward to what's ahead. I'm feeling the positive vibes, the energy. I'm feeling nobody yelling in the commentators' ears at this point. Allegedly, who knows? But this is a thing. Well documented. So you know what? Good times. Positive vibes. That's where we are.
Because I get a little update. So Triple H, not only being EVP of Talent Relations, he is also now head of creative for what we're reporting, and we're also reporting that Kevin Dunn is likely on his way out of WWE.
Almost.
That's coming from Cage Side Seats. Yes,
it's right. That you could have just said Kevin Dunn, almost done with. It's just like. Okay, just we'll talk about
that's
that
news
more.
To me. That's pretty interesting.
I was gonna say we'll talk about it
It's
more as the news. Exactly.
Okay.
Once we have more
Unconfirmed.
confirmation.
Yes.
But
But
yes.
that's what Matt is referring to. There is new person running creative because of Vince McMahon is no longer with the company. So it's so soon. Like I don't think we'll see the fruits of that until after SummerSlam, because it's not like all this happens 2 weeks before SummerSlam. It's not like they're gonna be like throw everything out and and be better overnight. It's truly I'm pretty sure once after SummerSlam is done, I can't wait to see if we go into new directions, because I feel like it's sorely needed here. So here we're gonna go to the SummerSlam preview.
Yeah, and just even as you mentioned that, just to comment on that more broadly, we'll talk about obviously the highlights, and there's the playlist of clips which you could check out in the show description, the show notes, to kind of keep up with what we're talking about. But I mean, Mari, I was actually enthralled watching this episode of Raw this week, the go home episode of Raw, just because they start you're already getting some of the small. You're seeing the pace change. You're seeing the show change. We started with a fight that we'll talk about with Logan Paul and Miz when we get to that match to start the show, and I was like, what is going on? World Star. And so I actually enjoyed Raw this week, but you're right, we're not going to see those major changes to storylines and who's facing who and who's on the roster for a while. But you know what, we like a slow burn sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, so we did get Roman Reigns opening Raw, to raucous applause. They're at MSG. They brought all the stops. They had all the SmackDown kids. Right, all the SmackDown people there, and Roman Reigns telling MSG to acknowledge him. MSG is just off the chain at this point.
Yes.
They are eating out of Roman and Paul Heyman's hands. They take a dig at the sound guy because the mic wasn't working at first. Paul Heyman said, "You're gonna be next." Basically, get his name. He's gonna be next. That was the funniest thing to me. I mean, it was mostly just Roman and Paul Heyman, because at this point they could probably get away with murder, but they were making a lot of jokes about the recent regime change, and I know a lot of people, including myself, very much enjoyed a lot of the digs. So I mean, it was just funny. It truly wasn't.
Say, yeah. It was New York crowd, yes. Like more. If you're, we've seen this in many media, but very more liberal audience than a lot of places too. I don't think that we were gonna get any chance for Vincent on the way out here, but is what it is. And I love the MSG crowd. Like I went to so many Madison Square Garden shows growing up, and so for me, maybe that was also the nice thing, because WWE hasn't been in MSG a lot over the last few years for whatever reason. So this was a welcome appearance at Madison Square Garden, and they referenced it. Like they're like, we are here, which is always really nice.
Yeah. Stan, what did you think about Roman Reigns opening the show?
Oh, it was fire. It was straight fire. I love how everybody just seemed to really feel refreshed. There was a different vibe. Like you could feel it. You could sense it. We were talking about this last week, my friends and I. Like, how soon are we going to feel this new shift in a post-Vince era in WWE, which still feels weird to say, right? The words post-Vince era. And if we're feeling it right off the bat for Raw, I'm very optimistic heading into SmackDown and SummerSlam in terms of what new changes we'll get. So I found it funny that Roman said the theory in particular, Daddy's gone, right?
Right.
And years ago, Roman, you were once theory. Let's be real here, right?
True, but I'm just going to say the difference was people liked Roman. As much as they try and forget that they did at one point, people liked Roman before they turned on him. Theory,
that's true. That's also true.
Did they just try to? Did they try to turn Theory face in that segment?
I don't think
Is
so.
that
No,
what
no,
was
no.
going on?
No.
Not at all.
Because there was the whole moment. So we see this whole conversation. It gets physical, which is what I'm referring to. Or you. Actually, I don't even know if that physicality is relevant. It was minimal, but I did appreciate the references there, and we at one point see Austin Theory smack one of the Usos.
Yeah, I think it
in
was
the
Jay.
back I'll go with that. In the back with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I wasn't paying attention. I was just more amazed at the moment. I'm like, what is he doing? And then it didn't devolve into a fight immediately, which is, even from a creative perspective, it's like, huh, that's interesting. You would expect it to turn into like an all-out brawl. It's just Theory like smacking Jey Uso in the back and holding the briefcase. Like, come on, and they're like, okay, calm down, bro. Like you're not
like
big.
you're not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, logically, it's like, don't punch down, bro. Or Oos, don't punch down, Oos. We're good here.
It's kind of sophisticated though. Like it's very rare that we see someone physically attack someone else and it doesn't really result in an all-out brawl. So
I mean, they had too many brawls. I know we said it felt good, but there was way too many brawls on this thing that broke out. I
agree.
It was refreshing that it didn't devolve into physical violence.
Yes, that moment, but then I mean, it did after in match form and other brawl form, but not in that moment, which I was like, oh, what is WWE doing? The first like 5 minutes of the show were very refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. So no Brock on Raw or at MSG, right? Which is interesting, but he's only played for so many shows, even if it's their big, their big show.
Well,
I know. So Brock was on SmackDown the week before, I believe. I can't remember. My memory's shot.
Yes, he was.
Okay,
yes.
Great.
With suplex or whatever.
Suplexing
F5
people.
Theory.
Madcap Moss, right?
He like did something to Theory. It was because it's time is wild, but I think it was just this last SmackDown where was it? Yeah.
So Brock came in at the very end and delivered an F5.
Yes.
Yeah. After it was reported that he walked out. Yep. So it's just Roman versus Brock. All of this is smoke and mirrors because we're getting Roman versus Brock again. Last man standing match again. Love what Roman's doing. Brock's here. Like it's the same thing. Same kind of thing. It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be
the last match. The last match for them ever.
Yeah.
We're never gonna see them in a wrestling ring ever again. Never. Never. Believe that.
Love it. I mean, if they say so. So let's just go straight to prediction. I mean, there's not really much to really say. Brock came back like a few weeks ago when Roman needed an opponent. They've been kind of like missing each other on shows. It's hyped up. Paul Heyman's been doing the thing by hyping it up, and you gotta get Beastly, you gotta do this. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great match. But it is boring creative, like I said. So I think
yes,
Roman is gonna win. I said that just
you don't sound too sure.
I'm not.
Like why? Why not? Come on, Mari.
I don't know. They just started really harping. Like they've always harped on the days for him, but they're like really starting to harp on it. And when they start counting the days, it's like, oh god. Like they said, he's creeping up on 700 now.
Yeah.
So normally when they do that, or should we say Austin Theory? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mari.
What if it's like? What if it's okay? Picture
Don't put that out there.
Picture this.
No.
Brock beats Roman, right?
What?
Brock beats Roman, gets him down for the 10 count, but he's so kind of like, Theory comes out, hits Roman, wins the belt. I mean, hits Brock, wins the belt. Roman then gets up, hits Theory, wins the belt back.
Wait,
that
Mari,
was pretty hard to wrap my head around.
wait, so
Yes.
you're saying that Brock beats Roman, wins,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Theory does the Money in the Bank thing on Brock,
Yeah.
and then somehow Roman.
Why not?
When did it become the 24/7 championship?
Yeah.
Right this very second. That would literally be the only thing that would make me interested in this match. It's like a quick hot potato of the title.
Yeah, but Mari, there's kind of a gap in the logic here because what is Mari, what is Theory going to hit Brock with? It's sure as hell not going to be that briefcase because we saw that doesn't go that far.
I don't do nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to drive out a Mack truck and run Brock over if he's gonna, get him if he's gonna cover him for
that
3.
Would not be cool, but that would also kind of like.
I mean, it's kayfabe, Mari.
Like it's kayfabe. Yeah, it's a last man standing match, so they could go anywhere in that arena they want to.
That would literally be
right. Yes, they can. So like, Theory pulls up.
Maybe get some like good strong gorilla glue or something like that and puts it on Brock's back, and he can't get up if he's glued down to the ground.
This is what it's come to, y'all. We are just
why are you galaxy braining it?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna just go with somehow, some way Roman ends up walking out with the title. Yeah, after a failed cash in, I'm going to say. Do I want to say that? Like, Theory's been announcing the cash-in so much as a heel. It feels like this would be a cash-in tease. Like, if it would feel like it would be smarter for it to be a cash-in tease. But then, of course, you have the 2 biggest behemoths ever.
Ooh, good word.
Striking after a last minute. Striking after a last man standing match would actually make sense too, because that is like the only way you can like really hope they're down for the count. So yeah, I'm gonna just go with Roman retains after a failed cash in by Austin Theory.
All right.
So you just laid out so many scenarios, Mari, that
I did.
Mari, you good. I like how you're playing 3-dimensional chess with these predictions. You're giving us all of the scenarios so that next week no one's going to remember whose predictions what, or what prediction you had.
Exactly that. All the bases covered.
You know what? What if nobody wins, honestly? Like, what
How
if
can nobody win? Come on.
The match never ends.
Like literally fight forever.
I mean, I agree with Mari, and I agree with what she said about Brock winning and then Austin Theory winning and then Roman winning, or just Roman winning. But also, what about nobody wins? How about we'll put that out there? No contest.
So I'm coming into this.
Yeah.
I'm coming into this obviously blind as well. Like, I know as much as you guys know, right? Which just means that I don't know anything that the general public doesn't know.
Will say, Stan, I do think it's strange that you went out of your way to clarify that you don't
No, I
know.
always say this in the interest of covering my butt. All right? So hear me out here. This is me with my fan hat on.
Does it
I'm going to
involve
say
Gorilla Glue?
No. I am going to counter what Mari and Rob Sesternino put out into the universe. And I will say that Theory will be cashing in and he will be defeating Roman. I think Roman will beat Brock, and I think Theory walks out as champion right after SummerSlam, just because I think it's logical. And while it may be predictable, it's still logical. And here's a new point of view on or towards storylines that are predictable. Because people say in wrestling, oh, it's predictable, I don't want to watch it anymore. Think about it this way. If your storyline is predictable, that means it makes sense for the audience. You get what I mean? Like, it makes sense for the audience to put 2 and 2 together, which makes it a good thing. Which makes it a good thing for me. So, like, they've been teasing Theory cashing in all this time. And if I'm Theory, as Mari put out earlier, why wouldn't I cash in after a last man standing match? And if the idea of building Roman to be this unbeatable champion for almost 2 years now is to give the rub to a young up and coming star, why not Theory? And Theory's so hateable, he might just make Roman Reigns the good guy here.
That's where's your tinfoil hat, Stan?
No, is it hiding behind you? It makes sense. It makes sense. But
no,
if
yeah.
if Roman and it actually doubly makes sense because Roman and Brock are both on lighter schedules now, so they go away, and Austin Theory is your double A champion. Like that's the person you're pulling ratings with. Are we
2 titles?
Both those titles on Austin Theory, and that's who Fox is banking their ratings on.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I think okay. Here's my thing. If I'm giving an actual prediction here and being earnest for a minute, not Ernest the Cat Miller, but I'm being earnest as an adjective. One thing I will say is that I think that I like this idea of Theory walking out with the championship here, regardless of if he has it for a while or not. But I don't see him winning both championships. I see him like Money in the Bank cashing in and winning the newer one that Roman won at Mania, as opposed to winning both of them, so that Roman could still continue with his numbers going up with the streak, and he'll still have his SmackDown championship, whichever one that was, and then Theory has his championship, and then it kind of decouples the belts so that Roman still champ, Theory also champ, and then you don't have one person as the champion, which, Mari, I thought that'd be a dream for you. I realized Theory taking the championship maybe isn't the dream, but I think you predicted that a second ago, so maybe it is the dream.
Well, no, I did. I think I predicted it like a few weeks ago, but I agree. However, the wording in the promo this week was very specific. When Austin Theory said, I am going to cash in and become the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion. So it really made it sound like it was no choice but to take both belts. If they only take one belt, I would love that.
I do love the conscious uncoupling of the belts, though. Like, that's something I want to see as well, just because I do want to have 2 world champions, you know?
And I also think that, another piece of this that I'd say is that, like, Austin Theory, just like most people in the WWE, probably not the best legal mind. He probably doesn't spend so much time like reading through the contracts. So, he might think he could get 2 championships for the price of 1, but the reality is, Mr. Money in the Bank, you get 1 title shot, bro. You don't get 2 championship shots with that briefcase. So maybe he's going to walk out and strut and think, "Oh, I could get both of these," but he can't get both of them.
Yeah.
And that would be
I like that.
Inspired creative. Kind of.
Paul Heyman. I feel like Paul Heyman could come out the woodwork and be like, "You didn't check your contract, sir." I'm okay with that.
It's only for 1 championship and not 2. When specifically these 2 championships were not unified, he just happens to have both of them. I like that.
I like that too.
That's
way better. Yeah, it's way better than the double championship. I think
that
only
can't
Roman
happen.
can. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't even like that the Usos are carrying her away too. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's way too many.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair, who is the champion, versus Becky Lynch. So, of course, again, I think we talked about it last episode, but this was actually seems to be made out of necessity because of Rhea's injury taking place. We did see Rhea on Raw this week. Rhea came back on Raw. I was so happy to see her back. She did exactly what Matt wanted her to do.
I love that. I love to see Rhea beating up the Mysterios. She bullied Dominic Mysterio, which, I think he deserved it. And I mean,
she mollywopped Aaliyah. I loved it. I was like, oh dang!
I don't like is Aaliyah Mysterio, daughter of Rey Mysterio, going to get in the ring? Is she going to hit a 619? Maybe one day. Who knows? Probably not. But she was ready for that fight, and Dominic was not. She was the most. She put up the best fight against Rhea in the sense that she just got She got like just pancaked, and Rey and Dominic did not survive her. Which I love that. I love that for her.
So, but because of that, because of the timing, it seems like they had to pivot, and so we pivot back to Bianca versus Becky. We open back the old wounds of the 26 seconds at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
don't know
old.
if I'm totally convinced that this was the original direction that Bianca's title reign was supposed to go. So I want to say that Bianca walks out still the champion, and it finally puts the nail in the coffin of the 26 seconds. She proves to Becky that she deserves to be the champion, and maybe we can move on. And unfortunately, it looks like the next person is going to be Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss had a segment on Raw saying that Bianca, Becky, whoever one of y'all come out of SummerSlam, I'm up next.
What was that voice?
I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa does not sound like that in the least.
It's like, that's rude. That is rude.
It was the we've heard this song and dance promo.
Okay.
But we haven't seen Alexa near the title in a while, so I think that's refreshing to me.
I guess, but
she said, "Hi, I'm Little Miss Bliss." Like the lowest Mari, you just give the lowest energy version.
If Alexa Bliss recorded something like that, that would be great ASMR. I would love that stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would. Ugh.
I mean, people will love Alexa if she didn't.
They love her.
I mean, that's why we were in this predicament.
Yeah.
So like, I just, it's true. She has not been in the title picture for at least 2 years now, I want to say.
Yeah, she was in the chamber match earlier this year. That's about as close as she got recently.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I get it. They want to push her. She's back. So let's see. Her and Bianca haven't ever really tussled.
Touch gloves.
Yeah, not to my memory.
What a word.
Not to my memory either. And then her and Becky, yes.
Yeah, they did.
SmackDown
In the SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Like long time ago.
Long time ago. So I mean, if we're going off alignments, then maybe Becky wins because Becky is the biggest heel on the women's roster right now, and Alexa is face presenting, even though I still don't know if they know what they're doing with her character there, which I just don't understand. How do you have 20 vignettes about somebody going to therapy and they still not come out with a cohesive character?
Okay, it's therapy,
they did that
Mari.
Twice. They did that twice. They did it with Alexa and Lacey Evans.
Mari, it's literally therapy. What are we talking? We're going for realness here. She's
a work in progress.
She's a work in progress. She clearly has changed and evolved and grown since she went to therapy.
Then why is she still carrying around Lily? It doesn't make sense.
It's a coping mechanism.
And you know what? It's okay to have dolls. What's wrong with
therapy
that?
didn't
Is
work?
that harming you?
So therapy didn't work.
It worked,
That's what
but
we're saying?
No, we did not say that.
We did not.
It's a work in progress.
No.
Maybe some sessions are happening off camera.
Yeah.
I don't
and
know,
you know what?
man.
Yeah, Mari, that's none of your business. Leave Alexa and her therapist alone.
Either way.
Right. Don't come for Lexi.
I'm not coming for therapy. I'm coming for
what is therapy?
That's gonna be an out of context line right there.
Come on.
I'm not coming for therapy.
I'm just saying.
So many ways you can take
And there's so many ways. Anyway. I'm just saying, I just would have liked a clear-cut character. But I still think, because I want to have faith that I don't think this is how it was supposed to go. I think Bianca wins. Now, do I want to throw in some shenanigans because I'm bored? Yes. So what am I going to say? I want some shenanigans. I want it to be like maybe Bayley comes back, accidentally costs Becky the thing, or tries to help Becky in some way. We get Becky Bayley tag team. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, that's not really the match that needs the help. Either way, I think we're going to get a solidly wrestled match because Bianca and Becky are just so damn good when they are in the ring together. It's always amazing to watch. So I am here for it. I can't wait to see that. But I think Bianca wins. Hopefully she just kind of wins clean so she can really just erase that bad taste of the 26 seconds out of the mouth. And it just be like, it shuts the
Yes.
We close the door. We
We
move
love
on to
that.
the next chapter.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping. Stan, what do
Yeah.
you think?
I like what you said about just bringing up the old trauma of the 26-second loss. And I can't tell if this was the original direction or not. And at
Right.
this point, I don't think it matters because you're right.
True.
There are too many touch points from the entire arc between Becky and Bianca over the past year. And I think it does make sense to finally put the bookend to this at SummerSlam. And when you think about it, Becky hasn't really had her proper one-on-one rematch against Bianca. Has she? Because
Yeah,
I don't think she
WrestleMania.
has.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, like after WrestleMania, there hasn't been a
Oh,
rematch,
no.
right? Exactly. So I think it's fitting that it happens at SummerSlam where there are these old demons lurking in the background for Bianca. And if Bianca can put this to rest, then she comes out all the better for it. And as you said, Becky and Bianca, we can expect them to put out a banger 7 out of 7 days a week. So
Exactly.
I'm excited for this. And with the rumors of Bayley's return swirling around, while I do want to see her with Becky and Bianca and Alexa and all the Raw stars, I don't think she's supposed to be on the red brand.
Me neither.
That's
Me
just
neither.
me. I don't think so.
I know. And we will talk about that in a minute. Matt,
Ooh,
For
what do you
sure.
think?
Uh-oh. You know what? I like where we're going with this direction. So, what I would like to see, which is what I'll talk about, is that I would like to see a 7.2, 7.3, maybe 7.5 star match. Thank
Yeah.
shout out to Dave Meltzer. And, we'll get that. Bianca wins. Then Bayley's music hits, but not her heel music, her wacky waving, inflatable arm flailing two-man music. She has the headband on and everything. With the side ponytail, the gear, and all of it, right? She comes down to the ring. Bianca's like, "What is going on?" And then when remember when Sasha had the pink wig on and then took it off and it was the blue wig on her? But it was clearly a wig because you're like, what's wrong with your hair right now, Sasha? That's what I want for Bayley. I want her to rip off
the ponytail.
headband, ponytail, everything off, and it's just her short cut. I wasn't gonna say it myself. And then just rip off everything else. It's it's Bayley. Bad girl Bayley is back, and then she leaves to her heel music. That's what I want for Bayley. That's my prediction, actually, that Bianca will win and Bayley will do exactly that. One day I'm gonna be right, and
She'll have her.
Really
it's Britney bitch moment. It's Bayley bitch.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And they did a pretty good job. WWE did a road to SummerSlam clips for certain matches. So you can find that in our highlights playlist that'll be included in the show notes and show description, either in the YouTube page or in your podcast. So again, if you want to follow along, we put in all of the clips so you can be kept up on the storylines going into SummerSlam. So next up, speaking of SmackDown, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Liv Morgan is the current champion going against Ronda Rousey. Again, full disclosure, we're recording this early. We're recording this on a Wednesday before the SmackDown before SummerSlam, so still time to build towards this. But basically, the build towards this were some promos, because kind of bad promos, but on Ronda's end, because Ronda is still presenting as a babyface as of right now. Even though she's had a little bit of bite in her promos, Liv is just so happy to be here. She's like, I want this more than anybody. I love that attitude from her. And I think what we're going to get is we're going to have Ronda turning heel in the middle of the match. I could see a cheating, let's say a dusty finish. Ooh. And then Ronda cheats to win. I think unfortunately, the title goes back to Ronda. I hope I'm wrong. I truly hope I'm wrong, because I really like Liv being a champion. I feel like she hasn't been able to do much with it because it's just this rematch with Ronda has been looming over. She's just been kind of messing around with Natty for right now. I would love for her to have an actual reign, but they love to do this. They love to take the belt off of somebody and then put it right back on and all that. And I think Ronda maybe realigns, becomes heel, takes the belt off of Liv, and then this is when I think Bailey's music hits and they kind of
To a
like
face
step
pop.
over Liz to a face pop. Exactly. I hope if Becky comes back and she comes back face, at least tweener, they give her like the kind of Sasha thing where she doesn't have to be a baby face. She can literally do all of the things she did when she was heel Bailey, but still get the face reactions. Because no, but I'm not booing Bailey. Who's booing Bailey after she's on the shelf for a year? Nobody. So
Not
I
yet.
think I think that's what happens. I think poor Liv gets has to go back to the back of the line. But I also think she could be incorporated between the Bailey and Ronda stuff. Bailey and Liv have really good matches. They used to do a lot of matches back in NXT together, if I remember correctly. Uh, Liv can sell her butt off. Liv is gonna sell for Ronda like Ronda hit her with a shotgun, and it's just so unfortunate that it has to be the Ronda Rousey. Let's see if Liv can give Ronda her best match so far. I
And to
I
be
think it's possible. Yes,
and
Matt.
to be clear, you mean like the smacking her with a shotgun. That would be very painful.
You know,
And
that's
dark.
common saying in wrestling. Like,
Wait, by the way, speaking of common sayings in wrestling, for those who don't know what a dusty finish is, we mean like
There
a
you go.
reversal of the finish. So it's like, oh, this person won. Oh wait, no, actually they didn't, and then it's reversed off of like some kind of
Shenanigans.
something shenanigans, like whatever comes up. And so,
Yeah,
I mean, that
you're
would be
gonna
nice.
think Liv won, and
I
then
don't. Yeah. Oh, that's so sad though.
it's very
She
sad.
just got there. Like she just got to the
We're just
mountain
doing
top.
outlandish predictions this episode to entertain us
Yeah, but I mean, I think we're
because nobody
taking
pays attention. We don't pay attention.
taking the Mari. No, we are paying close attention. We're not
Not
only
paying attention.
looking at what's happening, we're looking in deep what's happening, which is where all of these predictions
No,
are
I'm saying
coming
we're not
from.
paying attention to our predictions. By the time we watch,
Oh.
I'm always like, did I predict that? I'm gonna say I did. Like I don't remember.
Just-
I never
that's
remember.
really it. I think that I don't know what's gonna happen here. Just disclaimer, I don't have any inside knowledge on this one, but I will say Liv Morgan I think Liv is gonna win here because she just got there. Like she just got there. And I think we will see a big like knockdown drag out fight. But I just think that she's gonna come out on top here. The Bailey prediction is interesting. Here's the thing. I could see a world where like I don't think that I don't know. I was about to say I don't think that Bailey needs to return at SummerSlam, but that could be awesome. And I also don't know, like, will Ronda stay past SummerSlam? Who knows? I haven't heard any rumors about that, but things just haven't been hitting. Things haven't been firing on all cylinders. Things
Not
haven't been
clicking.
clicking. And yeah, and so maybe she's gonna, step away a little bit. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that, but I would not be surprised. I would love a heel Ronda here, though. I just don't want Ronda and Bailey to have anything to do with each other, or Ronda and like most others. If Ronda does have that heel stable though with her MMA people, that could be awesome. Bring
they're
in
gone.
not
Give it
those
up.
MMA people, not those MMA.
I mean,
people,
Shayna's
not
still
Serena.
there.
Yeah, Shayna Baszler. Like even just, it drives me like insane actually to think that they haven't put them together as a heel team. And I would like to think in terms of the creative here, like we will get Shayna and Ronda soon. If not, it's just such a huge missed opportunity.
Let me ask you guys this, because I heard from both of you that Liv just got here, and it's too soon for her to drop the championship. So let's say she loses the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Will that make you upset?
Well, no.
Yeah. I would be. Yeah. I mean, now would I feel it as intensely as if like the day
Right.
that the SummerSlam that we were in New York where Naomi had lost her belt to Natty after just winning it at WrestleMania and not really much buildup of the Natty feud, only for Natty to drop it to Charlotte, which was the whole point. They just didn't want to. No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. But
Right.
I still feel like I really like Liv, and I think that they've been pushing her they've been prepping her for this spotlight for so long,
Yeah.
and I love that. But they
Mm-hmm.
have also done this to other competitors where like I'm thinking of Nikki ASH. She
Right.
won it
Okay.
at Money in the Bank, lost it at SummerSlam.
Okay, the reason I ask why,
Mhm.
if it'll make you upset, is because I think Liv Morgan is the perfect plucky underdog babyface who doesn't get to be champion for very long. Think Christian back in 2011 when he won the World
Sure.
Heavyweight Championship, then lost 2 days later to Randy Orton. And I think
Yeah.
that in wrestling, the reason why babyfaces don't get to be champion for very long is because it's just more compelling to see,
That's the
especially
truth.
when they're not physically dominant, like a Ronda Rousey or like a Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes more sense to see them as the chaser rather than the holder. So I think following classic wrestling logic here, I'm actually okay with seeing Liv lose to a heel Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam if that is the direction they're going here. Because I mean, no one can take the women's championship reign away from Liv. I mean,
True.
it's on the record books. It'll be there forever. She cashed in Money in the Bank successfully against Ronda. Now it's time to make Liv compelling again. Because I would rather see Liv lose at SummerSlam than to see her be a stale champion, than to hear people say, I'm tired of Liv as champion. Let someone else be champion now. I'd rather it happen while it's still very fresh for us. That Liv just cashed in last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
that's very optimistic of you. And I think I agree. But I hated the whole
I
Sasha plucky can beat Charlotte. And then if it always depends on how you end the feud. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure, yeah.
Sasha never overcoming Charlotte and actually having a long reign after all those short reigns just completely messed up that feud. Nikki ASH winning
Mhm.
at Money in the Bank, going on to lose at SummerSlam and then never see the title ever again. She's in catering right now. Like if you do this with Liv, then what I want you to do is give her that plucky underdog edit, and it goes to maybe it leads to a Royal Rumble win and then a
Yeah.
Mania win. Like that's what I would want. But that would mean that they would have to follow through. And I just do not,
Yeah.
I don't trust it right now. I just truly don't trust it. I'm more scared that Liv will be relegated back to the mid card. That like
Do we
that's
not
the thing that
believe in
scares me the
Hunter
most.
Hearst Helmsley?
I don't know. Like Hunter didn't put the belt on Liv or Bianca when they were in
Maury.
NXT, so I'm a little scared for my sisters right now. I'm a little scared.
Wow.
He was not the one that pushed them. You know,
Look.
Vince strapped the rocket to Bianca's back. So I
You
don't
don't.
know.
Yeah, well, Mari, look, there's so much here to unpack, and like,
Mhm.
there's a saying that you only live once. You only live once. But
Who's
I
said
don't
that?
want to live once. I want to live multiple times. I want to keep going time and time again. We need Liv at the top time and time again. But I do like this idea of like live, laugh, lose here, and she kind of just
Yeah,
drops it and then comes back to get the championship back. Like
yeah.
if she loses it here, I I'm with you. Like
Mhm.
I fear for her position in the card,
Mhm.
and I would like her to be at the top of the card fighting for the championship. Like let's say that Bailey has nothing to do with this and the feud keeps going and Ronda's a heel and I
Yeah.
get my wish of having Shayna in there also. Like
Mhm.
that's awesome. And then Liv fights back and maybe wins the championship back. I don't know. I do like the idea of that continuing on, that feud continuing on. Um, to me, Royal Rumble feels a little far out for Liv. Like it would be
Well,
nice to see her win it back the next chance she gets, and maybe then they beat her back. I don't know. I just like the idea of Liv getting the multiple championship reigns and kind of,
yeah, they would basically
being a
have to
fan.
do what they did with Bianca,
Yeah.
last year. Like she loses in 26 seconds and then she
Yeah.
claws and works her way back. Like Liv being the sole survivor, I like that's just
But
formulaic
the
that I would be
yeah.
fine with.
But the thing
Yeah.
Um,
is, like with Liv, I
Elimination
don't
Chamber maybe
Liv doesn't have the
WrestleMania.
pedigree though that Bianca has at this point. Like Bianca
Exactly,
was
yeah.
Yeah,
also coming off the Sasha match at Mania. And so
True.
she had all of that where it worked, where Becky could throw the 26 seconds in her face and it was like, okay, we get it. Like, actually, I think the 26-second thing for a while gave Bianca so many chances to respond. Like, yeah, I'm not even pressed about that. With Liv, I don't think that she could, like, they can't stretch her being on the bottom for too long. Like, I think she needs to win that championship back by the end of this year. Or maybe it's like I don't know if they're doing WWE Day 1, the January 1st pay-per-view again, but maybe she wins it back there. I just don't see, she's just not, she's not Bianca Belair.
Which is why she should have held on to that briefcase longer. What really gets on my nerves even more. Like, they should have been building her using that briefcase instead of just putting the title on her and then taking it off of her, possibly. So
you're the first person I've heard who was actually upset over Liv cashing in at Money in the Bank.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
the first. Yes, the first.
Is that a Ronda related sentiment, Stan?
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Because like everybody in my circles was happy when Liv cashed in. I was surprised, but I was also happy.
I was happy, but also I hate the same day cash in. I said it before it even happened, and I got scared because I thought she was gonna lose it. Like, I had the tweet ready, like, why would they do this to Liv? And then she won it, and I was like, okay,
discard.
Great. Yeah, you know, like the only saving grace is that she won the belt. That's the only redeeming thing, is that she actually won instead of like losing it on the same day. Like, I truly hate that, because why don't you use that briefcase to garner to up her character? I'm so upset. Anyways,
oh my gosh,
we'll see what happens. Let's just take a quick break and we'll continue with the preview. All right, so let's get to the United States.
Sorry, you've cooled down now that we had that break, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. The United States Championship match between Bobby Lashley, who is the current champion, versus Austin Theory. If you remember, Austin Theory was the champion at Money in the Bank. He lost to Bobby Lashley, but then went on to win the Money in the Bank contract. This match feels like an afterthought. Most of the buildup has been just them teaming up with other random people in tag team matches. Like this past Raw, it was Theory versus Drew McIntyre, but then it became Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre versus Theory and Sheamus. And then other than that, Theory has been, just kind of taunting the bloodline and all of that. So it feels like such an afterthought, because Theory is so focused on the championship. To me, if I was wild predictions, I say Theory just go in there, like lay on his back in the match, get counted out 1, 2, 3. Bobby retains the championship, and Theory gets up and be like, I'm saving my energy for my cash in.
That's such a big brain thing to do. Sure. Yeah.
That would be that would be so funny.
Like, isn't there a world to just like not show up?
That too. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Like he gets into the ring and then he hops out from Bobby Lashley. Yep. He grabs the microphone and saying like, I have bigger fish to fry, and just walks out basically.
But okay.
It's very disrespectful to the United States Championship.
You know what? That is a really good flex. It's a big flex.
Well, is it?
It is. It's like, oh, I could be here beating you, but I'm actually too good for this, and I would beat you, but I'm just gonna leave now. I don't know. Look, if that happens, I'm gonna be so upset. That's totally cool. I will be upset.
I feel like,
and I think that's the point.
I don't think it would be disrespectful to Bobby. I think it'd be like, oh, Bobby Lashley is such a badass that Theory is afraid of him. And then if Bobby Lashley is like, hey, I came here to have a match. So, if anybody back there wants to come and have a match with me, they can come and have a match. And then somebody, and it'd be an open championship.
Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey.
Bailey. You monster.
And she wins. That's interesting. I mean, what I could see here would because I feel you with Bobby being an afterthought here. I see A-Town Down, Austin. Oh, sorry, not Austin. Wait, does he still go by A-Town Down? Does he still say that?
He
Because
says
he
that
doesn't
still.
have
Yeah.
but he doesn't have a first name, so he's just
No.
Theory.
Yeah.
He needs a new thing. Anyway, Theory, I see him winning the U.S. Championship. I mean, if the predictions that we were talking about, I see him taking one of Roman's championships out of here. So he could be a double champion with the United States Championship and the Roman Championship. That's not the 700-day one.
Here's a different take on Theory big braining it. So what if he pushes through the match, fulfills the contractual obligations, and then loses to Bobby Lashley quickly so that we all forget that Theory's an actual threat. And then at the very end, right after Roman and Brock have beaten the pulp out of one another, then he cashes in. Because then we'll be like, wait, Theory just lost like, excuse my French, chicken shit to Bobby Lashley. But now he comes in, cashing in, and supposedly it's like a blindside.
There you go. I like that too. Either way, I think Bobby Lashley is leaving with his belt.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, it does. I'm not convinced. I would like that. And I would also like them to properly book Bobby Lashley where he's in the spotlight and all that. Oh, wait. Oh, it's coming to me. I feel like Raven Simone. I'm having a moment. Like I'm just seeing the vision. Okay. So somehow Theory wins the United States Championship. He also ends the night winning Roman's championship. And then Lashley beats him for Roman's old championship.
You are convinced you want Austin Theory to be a double champion. Like
I want them to give him a day of that. And then to have him get punked out and lose both of them.
At the same time?
No. I think Lashley's going to just get the World Championship title from him, not the U.S. Championship. I don't know how Theory's going to lose the U.S. Championship, but he's going to lose it to somebody.
Interesting.
Maybe Bayley. Again, we keep going back to the Bayley return. She is very American.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
I mean, nobody was disputing that.
I know, like
as if that's a qualification for the U.S. Championship.
For the U.S. Championship.
You won't acknowledge it. Yeah.
Yeah, Q Cesaro saying hi.
Yeah.
Rusev, all of them. Anyways.
All of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where we're at with that. It just feels like an afterthought.
I mean, are there any other possibilities that we didn't touch on? I think we nailed it for them.
Yeah, I think we thought of all the craziest things you could. We beat
the Theory. Whatever the expression is, something about beating a horse. Theory horse.
Dead
Austin,
horse?
probably.
Horse?
I mean, it's dead by the time you beat it.
So let's just do, because I put this in the wrong order, but it doesn't matter. Let's do Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. This is one of the matches I'm actually can't wait to watch.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Because anytime Baron Corbin is like, set up to get punched in the face, I mean, it truly is a must watch match. And then on top of it, it's one of my favorite commentators doing it, Pat McAfee. I can't wait. I hope he busts out the glitter studded wife,
the tank top
shirt.
Yeah, tank top. Yes, there you go. The tank top again. Woo.
That's the better word.
Yeah,
it is. Wow.
I told Matt when we were doing the recap, I was like, it was just so sparkly and shiny. I was just kind of focused on the tank top and the jewels just hitting the tank top so perfectly, but I'm excited. Yeah, I think
he loves to put the glitter on his I wonder how he gets ready.
The Swarovskis on them. So I'm excited. I think Pat McAfee coining bum ass Corbin has been probably one of the funniest things ever. Like whenever you just start calling people bum ass, it is just an automatic it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I hope Pat McAfee wins here. Does he? I don't know. But I'm rooting for him, so I'm gonna say Pat McAfee.
Yeah, it's funny without being too juvenile, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a feud about the size of somebody's balls. So Stan, who you got?
I've got to root for my broadcast colleague, Pat McAfee.
Yes. There you
It's
go.
so weird to get to say it, but like I get to say it. And man, McAfee can go. He is one of my favorite people in WWE, full stop. I love how he can do everything. I love how he can just get you so invested in this story. Like, typically, I mean, it's a full-time wrestler against a commentator. But Pat McAfee just changed the game. And the fact that they've got actual history from being in the Colts together in the NFL, and the fact that they've acknowledged that on screen, I think it's great. It's actually a story that stems from Money in the Bank. So, you know, they've been building up to it, and I love how we're actually getting this match. So I'm super pumped, super excited, and happy Corbin. I was about to say bum-ass Corbin. Happy Corbin doesn't lose anything by losing. He doesn't. Which I think just, you know, gives us all a feel-good moment when Pat McAfee can yell bum-ass Corbin after defeating him.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, I like, speaking of losing things, I would like to see this feud continue. And honestly, I don't care who loses this match, but I would like to see Corbin lose the happy name. Like, maybe they go on to have a couple of other matches, make it a best of 3 series. Maybe put Happy Corbin's name on the line, because, like, Frank, why is he so? What does he have to be happy about anymore?
Yeah, he's
like,
not too happy.
He's still rich.
Is he though? He was in Vegas for one day. Like, Stan, that's not gonna really do it for you.
I wouldn't know. I've never played in Vegas. I wouldn't know.
I mean, I haven't either. I'm just assuming he didn't win that much money. He won enough to, like, get some nice floral t-shirts.
He did deck himself out with, like, the fancy watches and the hats and the shoes back when he was with Madcap.
Yeah, but, like, gas is expensive. It's not like there are lots of expenses these days, and he has to get around the country and everything. Look, I'm just saying. I just feel like his bank account's probably not looking great. He probably has to go back to Vegas soon.
Who did you pick, Matt?
I don't care, because I'm so excited for this match. But and by the way, I just want to second what you said. Like, I like that there's the goofy kind of sophomoric humor, but also there's a backstory where you're not like, why are these people wrestling? So I mean, maybe I think Corbin winning here is nice, and I would like to see McAfee work his way back. This is going to be fun no matter what.
Exactly that. So let's go to the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. The Usos, who are the current champions, versus the Street Profits with special guest referee Jeff Jarrett.
Can we talk about that? Can we please talk about the Jeff Jarrett piece of this?
Right. Go.
Okay. This is so frustrating, because the only reason, there's no logical reason in the story why Jeff Jarrett is here. I believe someone on commentary referenced, of course, Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett, also SVP of live events Jeff Jarrett was said on commentary. So he's there. We get it. He, I think I know Bruce Pritchard loves him, like always referenced him on podcast with Conrad Thompson, all that fun stuff. But like, what is the logical reason for J-E-F-F Jarrett, however I can't even. But what's the point of him? What's the point?
J-A-R-R-E-T-T. That's J-E-F-F.
Yeah, it's too much. But yeah, they should take his last name away from him and just call him Jeff.
Don't do that.
Just to mess with him after 30-something years in the probably actually his whole life in the business, I believe. But yeah, weird. How do you, Mari? I'm curious how you feel about that, especially just because we haven't talked about Jeff Jarrett randomly being in.
I'm just so confused. Yeah, because I mean, there was a brawl on SmackDown. They were like, we need a special guest referee, and then it's just been brawls all over the place. So I guess they think he's gonna keep them in line. I guess I just kind of feels like they're like, Jeff Jarrett is here, back in the fold. He's available. It's Nashville, like he's
from Nashville.
Okay.
I think that's literally it.
I'm just gonna look up the 10 most famous people from Nashville, because any of them would be better than Jeff Jarrett. But
dang, I cannot see him not hitting somebody with a guitar at some point. Like he has to, right? Like
here's the
somebody's
thing:
hitting him
who
with
would
a
you put in there if not Double J?
Dolly Parton.
Really?
I don't think WWE has Dolly Parton money. Oh, I would put nobody in there because I don't understand why they need to be here.
No, because like the story coming in was that the referees had been bungling the 3 counts, right?
Oh, right. Because the shoulder was. Thank you, Stan,
Mm.
for reminding us. Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because Montez's shoulder was up at
Yeah, at Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And there was a rematch where the Usos won through shady means as well. So okay, like I get it. I get the confusion, I guess. Like, you know, why Jeff Jarrett of all people other than the Nashville connection? But when I think about it, if not Jeff Jarrett, man, I can't even tell you who I'd put in there because I can't think of anybody unless it's like Adam Pearce.
You're right. Now that you remind me about that, that makes a lot of sense. I do like that now. But it's still just the Street Profits and the Usos again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
course. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's because they've just been fighting since after WrestleMania. It's been forever.
And
I
you
don't
know
know.
what? Jeff Jarrett really, it is kind of funny that Jeff Jarrett is actually the best person to put here. Because, like, the only other Nashville person, if we're going that route, would be Jerry the King Lawler.
Right.
You know.
Because Memphis, yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know.
So yeah.
Who would you get hyped for more, though? Double J or the King?
Double J, right? Yeah.
He has the little hat and the little boots and the little.
And he's a bit younger, so you know.
Yeah, I mean,
muscles.
no matter what, I am just kind of putting it out in the universe that I hope the Street Profits win, just for something different.
Honestly, Mari, I feel like we come back to this match time and time and time and time and time again. I'm going to go with the Street Profits, but mostly just to put that energy out into the universe because... Damn! Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll actually go that direction. Really? Yeah, put Ron Simmons in there actually as the... Actually, yeah, you know what? Ron Simmons, Farouk, would be a better referee here than Jeff Jarrett. And I said that.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
On the record.
I mean,
I always root against whoever the Usos face. Like every predictions episode I've been on in the last year. So I'm just going to keep with the tradition and say the Street Profits will probably win here. Just because I'd like to be surprised.
And this is why we can't have nice things, Stan.
Yeah.
And this is why they won't win.
Oof. Yeah. Again, a deunifying of the titles would be great in some way. That would let them both have a title. Sometimes I'm advocating for participation trophies apparently here, but like it's just not working for me that we have double titles on the same people. It's very annoying. So,
but Mari,
maybe that's what we'll get.
But Mari, that's the thing. It's not even a participation trophy. It's just the fact that they have two. They just decided they need to really consolidate the championships on certain people, and they don't need to. Like, they just decouple it. Let's have a tag team division that has more than... I'm trying to do the math in my head, but like I'm thinking of the NXT Women's Championships, the main roster Women's Championships, and then these 4 championships that they have. And do we still only have 3 people holding like between 8 belts? I think so.
Yeah, because only the women are separated, and then the women's tag belts are just nowhere in sight here. So
Vacant is a champion, so there's that.
Vacant champion.
Yes.
And then the US champion is Bobby, and then the Intercontinental champion is Gunther. And so Gunther and Nakamura, they're going to be facing off on SmackDown.
Yes.
I think. And then Sheamus and Drew are going to be facing off on SmackDown as well.
Yep.
In a walking stick, a shillelagh match.
Yeah, something like a shillelagh match, a
Robbie
Donnybrook
Brooke.
match, something
Yeah.
like
Not a
that.
walking stick.
Either way, SmackDown sounds like it's about to be lit. So we'll see how
Yeah,
that
it
goes.
does. I'm excited for that.
Ooh, we love it. We love it.
All right, so let's move on to the Miz versus Logan Paul, which it started off pretty good. Like it all makes sense. Logan Paul signs with WWE. He wants revenge on Miz for turning on him at WrestleMania. And it all makes sense. Then we kind of lost the sauce. Like the train left the station because we have been referencing Mrs. Nether regions for like 2 weeks now. And that was apparently the final straw to get him to agree to this Logan Paul match, even though I mean the like Adam Pearce or backstage could have just been like yeah, like it's happening. So
and you know
what do we think?
I just say what I think is that if you're in a workplace, it is inappropriate for someone to be so aggressively commenting on your balls. Go to HR. Go to HR, Miz.
Go to Adam Pearce.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yes,
but
this is definitely an HR issue.
I will say, I did appreciate how the show started, where we had. See, can I just confirm? It was the Miz brawling with Logan Paul, right?
Yeah.
Not the other one. Jake Paul? I don't know. I've always get confused. I don't know. But I loved the start to Raw because I really was not expecting it when I watched the show for the Miz and Logan Paul to be like randomly brawling from literally before the show even started, before it was on air. Like that was an inspired choice to me. And it's
very
like
smart.
anything could happen in the WWE. Like that is an example of that, I think, even though, not the most exciting feud, but I like that moment.
I feel like they were trying to pop the live crowd. I think there was probably like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a promo or something, and then and then the brawl happened, and it's just a good way to start off the show with MSG being so hot.
Yeah. So. I that's so real. And then later in the show, we see Logan Paul doing his thing. What's it called? The impulsion or
impulsive
impulsive TV
impulsive.
Interesting pun.
He made up a word.
He did make up a word, and good for him. It's very pro wrestling of him. But then we get Maurice coming out and talking about we need another. I mean, I just don't want to talk about Mrs. Nether regions anymore.
Crown jewels.
To be honest. I'm ready. Sure.
Grapefruits.
Maurice, what? No.
Grapefruits.
No. Yeah. Sorry. We had Maurice talk about her husband's jewels, and I love Maurice. I was actually very happy to see her come out in this moment because I wasn't
same here
actually expecting it. So
I love
that
need more
she's
Maurice
still around and doing her thing. I can't, and honestly, I said it's not jokingly, but I'm excited for the day that she's a Hall of Famer because
agreed.
I would actually at this point be surprised if it doesn't happen with her just kind of making these appearances and showing up how she is. She's awesome.
Yeah. I am still flabbergasted that we live in a world where Logan Paul is the good guy here in this feud. Like,
okay.
Yeah, they need to flip it and reverse it because this does not reflect reality. But then again,
I think the Miz is more rootable in real life.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm likelier to cheer for the Miz here. So that's really it. I mean, after you disparage the man's nether regions for the better part of a month, I think the Miz deserves to get one up on Logan Paul.
My thoughts exactly. And I'm hoping Maurice helps him. I hope Maurice helps him beat Logan Paul and then
gives Logan Paul a B slap.
Yep. And it leads to them, working together further, honestly, because I mean, I don't like Logan Paul personally as a person, but I can say I can give credit where credit was due. That match that they had at WrestleMania against the Mysterios was really good.
He knows how to work. We'll give him credit.
Exactly. So,
What a worker.
and with Miz now working with Miz now, they have a chance to really like do something like really good here, and they can take it further. Like this doesn't need to be a one-off. This would be a great entrance feud for Paul. Keep Miz busy, keep
No.
butts in the seat, all of that good stuff. We don't know what his do any word about his contract. Is he like full time or is he like just celebrity part timer? That's what I'm really wondering.
All that's reported is it's a multi-year contract for multiple matches.
Multiple year contract for multiple matches. Okay.
Yeah, that's what's been reported.
Cool.
I like details. Very
Yeah.
detailed information.
So,
Thank you.
Miz for the win here for me.
I don't even like. This is interesting. This match is going to be really good. I'm very excited for this one, just because like Logan Paul has no right to be as good as he is, and I don't want to be saying this, but it's true. He was so good at Mania. Like even in that match, with the Mysterios on the other side, Ray and Dominic, I'm thinking like Dominic feels out of place in this match right now, or just yeah, and I remember watching that back and thinking like Dominic looks like he's the least experienced in this match, not Logan Paul. And I get, you have the Ronda Rousey Bad Bunny treatment where Logan Paul is able to get his reps in and they're able to script it out and practice. But like that doesn't take away from the delivery, which I mean, do I want delivery? Yes. And Logan Paul's giving us delivery, not DiGiorno. We love that.
Thank you.
So I had to go.
It was right there.
I was working for it. I was working for that.
It was good.
But I would like the Miz to win here, but I just don't want to. I just don't really want to see the feud continue because I don't like all of the Jewel comments. Like it's just like it keeps going on and on, and it's like you could get creative. You could get creative with the story. Maybe this is where it ends. Maybe this is like part of the creative shifts in WWE where they're like, ooh, let's spice it up. Let's like, I don't know. Look at that. Just make it more inspired because like this should be a very interesting feud. In fact, like we're looking at The Miz, a bona fide main eventer, and Logan Paul, who's like notable enough, as notable and well known as many main eventers in WWE. And so like give us that quality of creative with this is all I want. But I would like to see it continue if they start to shift into something more like motivated.
Outside of the balls.
Exactly.
Outside of the balls, yes.
Yeah. I think we can all agree we can really stop with the crown jewel talk.
Yeah, it's getting old. It'll get old for us here too.
All right. So, and then finally, we have Riddle versus Seth Rollins.
There's actually an update on that.
What happened? Okay.
Yeah, so Riddle and Seth Rollins isn't happening at SummerSlam anymore. So the match was pulled a few hours ago because of an injury to Riddle. So that's in the storyline. I don't know the real reason why, but I know that we're getting 8 matches, and the 8th match will be the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day. So Riddle and Seth is reported to take place at Clash at the Castle. So that's what's that's what's on the internet right now.
Ooh.
Oh, cool! Breaking news here. All right, so skip that. Now,
we need a sound. Stan, I wish you had like a soundboard thing for that.
Let me see if I have something.
Or maybe I can give like
news outside the ring.
Wow, that was great!
Oh my god, look at
we
this!
Are just all these sounds today.
Look at this! This is like
amazing.
Award. We need a Smarty. Let's submit this episode for some awards or something.
Okay.
The podcast production awards.
Yeah. So then, all right. So just some off the cuffs. The Mysterios versus Judgment Day on Raw at MSG. They were celebrating Rey Mysterio's 20th. Anniversary. He gave like a really impassioned promo. They went up against the Judgment Day and lost. Judgment Day lost. Yes. They won. Judgment Day then came back. We said with RHAPup, beat them up, and so we're getting Judgment Day versus the Mysterios with the undercurrent of like they want Dominic to join them. So
this is interesting. This is actually really interesting. By the way,
what?
just as before we keep going with this, like
Mhm.
that promo by Rey Mysterio was so good. And, you know, I don't think people think of Rey as the promo guy, but you do think of his heart, and that really came through. And he gave us the bilingual promo, which was great. We talked about Rhea ragdolling the Mysterios later. So great way to end the 20th anniversary night. By the way, did you catch this? That when the Judgment Day attacked the Mysterios, Finn made a comment like, "It's not your anniversary, it's my birthday." And then I
had
looked
to
it up,
check, and it's legit.
It actually is Finn's birthday. So he
Wow.
must have been, I mean, talk about motivation. He was upset about being outshined and having
On his birthday.
On his birthday?
On his damn birthday.
On Finn Balor's birthday?
Not on Finn Balor's time, and not
He had to go watch Rey Mysterio celebrate 20 years on his damn birthday.
Can you imagine having to watch Rey Mysterio celebrate 20 years on his birthday?
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I like it. I wonder, so Rhea is back. She did mush Aaliyah. So maybe we get some shenanigans with Aaliyah and Rhea.
The most notable Aaliyah in WWE, unfortunately,
right now. Right now,
Oof.
exactly.
I mean,
big oof.
I mean, one of them has a last name and the other one doesn't.
Where's the lie?
One of them was mentioned this week, the other wasn't.
So, so maybe we'll get shenanigans like that, and then do we finally get Dominic turning on his father? I feel like it's been year in and year out, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, and people are like, when will Dominic turn on Rey? Do we get it here?
I got lots of thoughts. Oh my gosh. First off, I loved how Rhea had the "I'm Your Papi" shirt. That was a nice nod to Eddie and Rey and their connection, you know, SummerSlam. And since I mentioned Eddie and Rey, custody of Dominic in 2005, I think it's fitting that Rey and the Judgment Day are kind of fighting over Dominic at SummerSlam 17 years later. And I think it's the perfect place for Dominic to say, "No, Papi, I'm going with them now. They're my new Papi, or they're my new friends."
There you go.
Wow, that's like, damn. Do you think that we're gonna see
layers?
Like, so many layers to this, and like it's also interesting. I think going back to the promo with Rey, because he did give shout outs to people in his who are pivotal to his 20 years, and I mean he obviously mentioned Eddie, and he even mentioned Edge. And which I thought was an interesting one that
Edge.
he just kind of inserted a mention. Well, inserted a mention of Edge. He mentioned a lot of people, including Kurt Angle and some others. But I thought, ooh, what a setup to even remind people that Rey Mysterio
Edge exists.
Edge,
and Edge is behind those messages
that they had him, that they were together back in the day. No disrespect to Edge.
So Dominic turns on Rey Mysterio. They start beating up Rey, and then Edge comes out and helps Rey. Boom.
I like it. I'm down. I mean, I'm an Edge head, so like I'm down for anything Edge related. So,
and there it is. That's our final prediction. I don't know. Was that our final prediction?
Probably not.
That was mine. That was mine. I think Judgment Day beats Rey after shenanigans with Aaliyah and Rhea, Dominic turning, and then Edge comes back for the save.
I think that we could agree on that one. But I just want to, I'm kind of upset because, you know, I will say, as much as Rhea kind of did beat up Dominic a little bit, she really didn't beat him up that badly.
And
so, not as bad as Rey.
No, like she kind of just like grabbed him and pulled him around and everything. And so I don't feel like it's going to be awkward that he's with the Judgment Day next.
Yes.
Like, because you know how they love to do that, where they're like, ooh, we beat this person down with a steel chair and like lit them on fire and threw them through a table. And then it's like, but now they're turning on and then they have to like explain it. I think it's okay here, and you could really build in an inspired story of like why Dominic would leave his father, which is a really sad concept. Sorry, Dominic's savage.
And to do it at SummerSlam, of all places, where Ray actually fought for his custody when he was like an 8-year-old child.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Look at that throwback.
Beautiful.
And this is why you gotta watch on YouTube. Dominic,
Beautiful.
sad I just remember. Actually, this reminds me. We have a picture up of Dominic and Ray from like 20 years ago on SmackDown in the storyline. Dominic was always like very upset. I would imagine legitimately upset with the storyline. Like he knew what wrestling was, I'm sure, at the time, and I would love to see an interview if there's one out there of him talking about this storyline. But he looked like he was wrecked by this story. Like,
I mean,
so confused to this day.
for good reason.
Who is his copy?
Bad times.
Oh wow.
I'm so bad for him.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up. That's it for the SummerSlam preview. I almost forgot which pay-per-view we were on. That's SummerSlam preview. Again, all of the highlights and clips that we were talking about can be found in the show notes. One more time around the horn. What is the match that everybody is looking for the most? Stan, you can go first.
Sure. Well, there's Bianca Becky, always a banger. But like I said earlier, Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin. I'm really, really excited to see that and to call that and to openly cheer for Pat McAfee.
Yeah. Matt?
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you, I'm not that excited for the Logan Paul Miz match, but only because I feel like the promo package is just going to be balls, and we don't need that. I'm actually like very excited for a lot of this card based on our random predictions. But I mean, let's go with I don't know. Okay, wait. I'm having trouble with this because a lot of it, like Bianca and Becky, we've seen it. But if something happens with Bayley, that's interesting. You could say the same with Liv and Ronda. I'm going to actually go with Liv and Ronda here for my prediction, maybe. Or not my prediction, but like the one I'm excited for, just because, like, are they going to keep it, like, straightforward, or are they going to do something to actually spice up what Ronda's character is and inject some new life, some much needed new life into what she's doing? Is Bayley going to show up and be involved here? Is Bayley going to have the headband and wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men and then rip them down like she did so long ago? Like, who knows? So I'm going to go with Liv and Ronda, but I really kind of am excited for this card pretty much up and down it. That's a good sign. Mari?
And me, I agree. I am definitely looking forward to Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin. If anything else, like Stan said, Becky, Bianca, always bangers. But I think I'm gonna say the Usos and the Street Profits as well. Just because like them too. I can't wait to see how high Montez Ford jumps. And I'm really hoping they come away with the championships here because they've been chasing them for so long. I would love for them to come away with the championship. So if I have to choose, that'll be the one. All right. So Stan, where can the people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where I've been live tweeting Survivor South Africa, because that's been my obsession lately. It is at _Stansy, STANSY. And you can check out the Wrestling podcast, which is my OG podcast, and all the other work I do over on my Linktree. That's linktr.ee/Stansy says. Or if there's a Seafood City supermarket near you in the US or in Canada, I actually do the commercials over there. So that's some of the stuff I've been working on as of late.
Awesome. Matt, what you been up to? Where can the people find you?
Look, the people could find me listening to the Wrestling podcast at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Whenever I just am like, I get up and I'm like, oh my gosh, Stan is live. Let me just look at that now while I'm waking up. Great way to wake up, by the way. Better than a cup of coffee, some would say. I would
appreciate
say.
it.
And you can find me at Matt Scott GW on the social media. Hit me up on Twitter. And I'm starting to point people to the link in my bio, because I also have a Linktree link linktr.ee/MattScottGW, where you could like subscribe to the Wrestling RHAPup, where we are right now. If you're not already subscribed, do that. You could subscribe to Pod Friends, where I interview folks in the RHAP is a podcast RHAP network community. So episodes continue to come out for that all summer long. And you could also find me on Survivor Philadelphia 2, Head versus Heart. Shout out to Philly, site of WrestleMania. Shout out to the Philly Tourism Board. Shout out to the Philly mayor. Whoever could get me front row tickets at Mania. Preferably like at least one extra for Mari to join. That is what we're going for. That's what I'm working for. So yeah, check that out. Episode 2 just came out just on Tuesday this week. So lots of fun. Maybe I'm not still in it. No spoilers. Watch the show. I also might still be in it. So watch that. And you could also find me other places. You know, keep up with me on social media to see what's happening, where I'm covering Big Brother. You can find me on Crime Scene with Mari Forth and Sarah Carradine talking about the documentary Gladbeck. We had a lot of fun recording it. I actually really need to listen back to it because it was that much.
I just finished
fun.
it. I finished listening back.
How was it?
Yeah.
How did we do?
It was good. I barely listen back to myself. So this is that was a good one. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like listening back to something, rarely, but sometimes I'm listening back to something I'm like, but I was there. And also there are thousands of other podcasts that I need to catch up on. Yes, but that's what I'm up to. And again, Matt Scott GW. Mari, where could the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2. Where you'll know when I'm doing any Big Brother coverage. Big Brother 24 is happening right now. So if you want to know when I'll be going live with Taryn or doing episode recaps, go follow me on Twitter for that. Like Matt said, every Tuesday, me and Sarah Carradine bring True Crime Tuesdays to RHAP, where we review a different true crime property, like a documentary, a docuseries, docudrama, and we give our ratings and reviews and other suggestions for other properties. This week was Gladbeck, an amazing raw footage German language documentary that documents the 54-hour hostage crisis that took place in Germany back in the 1980s. So Matt was a wonderful guest. I got to podcast with Matt and Sarah again, which is always just the funnest thing. And definitely go listen to it and watch it. You can watch that property on Netflix here in the US. And it's such a good documentary, and we had a lot of fun talking about it. And after that, because of that, we'll be on a break, but go subscribe to Crime Scene by going to Rob has a website or robhasawebsite.com/crime feed, so you can turn your subscriptions on and notifications. You know when we come back. However, we also have exclusive bonus content on just the Crime Scene crime feed, where we're doing like little mini interview podcast called Inside Job, where we interview multiple people from different areas of the justice system. So we already have 2 episodes dropped where we interviewed a criminal and jury members, and we have some great ones coming up. So go subscribe to Crime Scene. Of course, you can catch me and Matt here every week on the Wrestling RHAPup podcast. Go to robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed to subscribe there, so you can of course, subscribe to us. Follow us on Twitter at Wrestling RHAPup on Twitter. Tweet us using hashtag Wrestling RHAPup. Again, it is almost the beginning of the month. Patreon, go to www.patreon.com/RHAP to sign up to become a patron and get exclusive content, especially during Big Brother season, which has exclusive interviews, Patreon 5 for 5, the slop, and the Big Brother feedback show.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Mari, I was gonna say, take a breath. And by the way, the criminal episode of Crime Scene, I finished that actually a few days ago. Loved it. It's enthralling. I was sympathizing with the criminal, so maybe there's either something wrong with me or something great about that. But wonderful interview by Sarah. Lots of great content. Lots of amazing things that Mari's up to. Shout out to Mari at Mari Talks Too Much. Mari, have you caught your breath yet from those million plugs?
I've caught my breath. Stan,
hey, it's way better than what Excalibur does. Like when Excalibur does his and just speeds through everything, that's a speed run. So Mari, I think you're good.
Thank you so much. And for me, Matt Scott and Stan, we will see you next week. Remember, wrestling is for everybody, but not all wrestling is for everyone. Bye.
Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPup's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party. Bull Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca, Bel-Air, Best podcast, flush it in the air, Roman Reigns and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPup's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party.